las cosas que necesito en la vida ya están aquí.
Hey everyone, welcome to the
Las
Camino Cafe. I'm so excited that you are
que
joining us here at the Pilgrim's table. As you know, I love speaking to pilgrims from all around the world. And today I am joined by Carlota Valenzuela, and she is walking from Finisterre all the way to Jerusalem. I heard about her story and I am super intrigued, as I'm sure all of you will be as well. So let's get to it because she's got to walk today. So we want to keep the interview a little bit on the shorter side, but we are going to be following her journey all the way to Jerusalem. So Carlota, welcome to the Camino Cafe. Thank you for talking to us this morning, especially on a day that you're going to be walking.
Thank you very much. And I'm excited to be here with you.
Oh, well, thank you. So I am fascinated by your whole story. First of all, being a pilgrim myself, I've always wondered about the folks that are walking backwards and how you do it. So I want to get into that. But let's start with your story because I think it's very powerful. And maybe if you can share with everyone, what made you decide that you were going to walk for a full year? How did this come about?
So before deciding this, I was working in a really big company. I was working in the human resources department, and actually, I was having quite a full life. When people change their life because they're not happy with what's going on, I that's not my story. I was living a happy life, but also it was a very deep spiritual life, and I was praying a lot, and while praying, I was feeling that in a way, God was telling me that something was going to happen, that I had to be ready because something was going to happen. And then I started feeling that He was asking me to start doing a Camino, but I didn't really understand what was going on. And then I just felt little by little in a very natural way and in a beautiful way that the idea of walking to Jerusalem was there. And as soon as I felt it, I started feeling super happy and excited about this idea. But I left it I didn't talk to anyone about this because I wasn't sure this was the call, because it's a call. So I left it there calm for a while, and then I just kept seeing that this was a real call, so I answered. And I paused my professional life, and I was living in Madrid, so I gave my apartment to my brother. I asked my company if I could take a year off, and 2nd of January I started working with the idea of getting to Jerusalem in Christmas 2022.
Christmas 22. Okay. So Carlota, you grew up in Spain. I know you've lived in other places, but did you grow up in Granada? Is that where?
Yes, that's where I'm from, and that's where my family lives and where I grew up. Yes.
Okay. So when you were growing up as a kid, were you aware of the Camino? Was it something that your family talked about?
It was something that people talked about, but I didn't really feel connected to the idea because I thought it was more which is wrong, absolutely. But I thought it was more of like a sport challenge. I thought it was people that were really strong and they wanted to do a physical challenge. I had this wrong idea that it was that way. So when I was growing up, I never really felt that Camino was something for me.
Okay. So this is your first time to walk the Camino. Is that right?
No, actually it's my third time. So in yes. 2020, so after the strong COVID time and everything, that summer, I decided to walk the Camino with my boyfriend at that time.
Yeah.
So the relationship was not going very well, and we thought, okay, let's do the Camino together, to strengthen up the relationship and see if this is going somewhere. And well, basically as soon as we arrived in Santiago, we broke up. But that was beautiful, and that was great, and it was the best decision for both of us. And then last summer in 2021, I wanted to tell my parents about the fact that I was going to go to Jerusalem. by walk, and I didn't know how to tell them. So we planned Camino together, and I went with my parents and my brother, and that's when I told them that I was going to go all the way to Jerusalem. So
Oh my gosh.
those have been my two Caminos.
All right, so much here. So I'm sorry I'm laughing about the boyfriend story, but I've always wondered, what it would be like to walk with
It's
a
great.
partner that you weren't really sure about, but it sounded like it was the best decision for both of you. Where did you guys walk from in 2020? Where did you start?
From Sarria in the French way. And same thing last year with my parents and my brother, we did it from Sarria as well. Okay. I think that when you've never done it, it's like the easier, and also it's like, I feel that it's very well prepared and it has a lot of lodgement and everything. So I felt that it was the easiest.
Okay. And was that your parents and your brother's first Camino as well? Or had they already walked? Okay, so you do this all as a family. And you have it planned that this is how you're going to announce to them that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So many questions, because I have a daughter not much younger than you. And so I'm just imagining her coming to me and saying, hey, Mom, I'm going to walk from the end of the world all the way to Jerusalem. How did that go? How did you tell them?
Well, it wasn't easy, I have to say. At first, they were very shocked. And so many questions kept popping, like, has anyone done this before? Have you talked to anyone who's done this? Are there ways? That's a really important question, because from Finisterre to Rome, there are ways. But then from Rome onwards, it keeps going more and more difficult. So that's something to keep in mind. And well, they were just very shocked, many questions, but I'm very lucky to have a very supportive family. And although they were very shocked and worried, of course, they showed a lot of support and they were very understanding.
Okay. So when this seed started being planted in you, all of a sudden you're like, I think I'm being told to do this. When was that? Was that in like the summer of 2021, or when did that start happening?
I would say it's been like a journey, because it was little by little. It wasn't just like one day I had the feeling, but since January 2021, I started doing meditation. And that made things so much clearer. Like in my mind, there was so much noise always. Like my life was so going so quick, and I was always very worrying about work. I don't know about everything. So there was a lot of noise, and I have the feeling that meditation helped to lower the noise, to have a space of silence. And in that space of silence, many things became clearer. And one of those things was this, like, I have the feeling that there's something that I can do that is going to make me, in a way, come closer to God, come closer to myself. And it was through meditation, I would say, from January till summer, that things became clearer. And it was just before summer that I had the strong feeling that this is what I had to do.
Okay. So what type of meditation do you do? Is it breath centered, or is it a guided meditation? Like what do you do? Because I think viewers and listeners will be curious, because everybody knows the benefits of meditation, and sometimes it can feel like a lot to take on the practice. So I wonder if you could share with us what you do for meditation, give everybody the encouragement that good things come out of it.
So I don't know much about meditation, so maybe the words I use are the correct ones, but I'm just going to tell you what I do. I started reading a book that is called Biography of Silence. I think it's the translation in English, from an author who's called Pablo Dorso. I really encourage everyone to read this book, because his approach to meditation is just beautiful. So I started reading this book, and I started doing just silence meditation and repeating a mantra. So that's what made me get into meditation. I had never done meditation. And then I did a retreat with an association that's called Friends of the Desert, that is founded by this Pablo Dorso as well. And I learned also how to do meditation, and I basically do just like silence meditation, and I repeat a mantra. And
nice.
that's what I do. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Well, everyone, I'll get the links to that book and also to the retreat. So we'll share that in the show notes. So great. Okay. So you're doing this meditation, the idea comes to you. Did you ever feel like, wow, this is a really long walk? Maybe it could have just been from Saint Jean. I mean, or were you always like, no, I'm going to Jerusalem? Like, was the end point always kind of known? Because it's a huge difference going from Sarria to Santiago,
It's got nothing to do
all the way to Jerusalem. That's a huge jump.
I had the strong feeling that I had to get to Jerusalem. So that because I like the question was like, what are you looking for? And I was saying, well, I'm looking for Jesus. Then where are you going to look for Jesus? Well, in Jerusalem, it's where everything happened. So the fact of going to Jerusalem was quite clear. What I didn't know is where to start. So the decision of starting in Finisterre came literally, it was more of a poetic thing, because I thought, well, I'm going to where everything started, like the nucleum. And where am I going to start from? Well, like the end of the world. Like, I don't know. I have the feeling that it made sense. It's starting from Finisterre and finishing in Jerusalem. But that was literally like poetic decision. I thought it was poetic starting in the end of the world. And also because I want to go through the 3 centers of Christian pilgrimage in the world, which are Santiago, Rome, and Jerusalem. Wow. And then I thought that just made sense.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So just a couple more, I guess, tactical types of questions. Wow. How are you following it? Okay. So which path are you right now walking? Are you walking
north one?
Specific? So the norte, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. And what's it like trying to follow the arrows backwards? Because I feel like I can get
super
lost.
Hard.
Follow them straight on. It's hard. Okay. So what do you do?
Super hard. I follow my own maps in my phone.
Okay.
So I can't go without a phone. Yeah. Or without like any other type of GPS or whatever, because when you see the arrows, they're telling you something if you're going to Santiago, but if you're coming from Santiago, there's no way of understanding those arrows. Like, no way. No.
Okay. Yeah, I just can't even imagine. So are you using a specific app or just GPS?
I'm using several apps because like the day before I study the route, so like that I can understand what's going on in the route, like how many kilometers, if it's steep or not. And I'm using the best app that I'm using is called Wikilog. Wikilog, yeah.
Okay.
Wikilog is like really good app, and you just type in the like from where to where you're doing the route, and there's so many routes that people have already done. It's just people uploading routes. But there are so many, and it's really useful. It's really easy to follow. So that's my best app. Then there's another one. It's called Maps.me, that you can use offline maps, and if you download them. And then there's an app from the Camino that's called Buen Camino. That is, it's also helping me very much. So those are the 3 apps that I'm using.
Okay. And I know that we have particularly a lot of folks that sometimes are a little nervous about walking on their own, right? Many women will say to me that, it's a little scary to think about walking across the country by yourself. So I wonder if you could just share a little bit about your experience. I mean, obviously you'd already walked 2 times, so you kind of knew what you were getting into. But this time you're walking by yourself, which is the first time to walk on your own. Mm-hmm. What gave you the courage to do that? And how are you feeling? Because you've been walking now, about a week and a half, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. Like yesterday was my day 15. Today is my 16th day.
Right.
So, first of all, the other 2 times that I walked the Camino, it was summer, and I was going with people, and the experience is completely the opposite of what I'm doing now. So you're chatting with people. It's a great moment to have deep conversations, and I really enjoyed it both with my ex-boyfriend and with my family. But doing it by yourself is something completely different, because you really have time to talk to yourself, to contemplate like the landscapes. I understand what's going on both in you, both outside, and I have the feeling that the experience is completely opposite. from going with people or going by yourself, and also doing it in summer, which is very crowded and there's so many people. You can meet a lot of people and have a great time. But if you do it like right now in January, there's no one,
right?
Like I'm not meeting anyone basically. And
Wow.
it's another kind of experience. I would say to mostly women that are thinking about doing it by themselves, do not be afraid at all. This is a very safe thing to do. Actually, people are like helping me more because I'm going by myself. Like, for example, yesterday I went through some houses and there was a family there that offered me apples, and I sat with them and had some apples and chatted. And I don't know if in the rest of the places that I'm going to go through, it's going to be this way. But in Galicia, I can assure you that people are super nice, caring, and there's nothing to be afraid of if you're a woman and you're doing it by yourself at all.
Yeah. And I think that I can kind of validate that a little bit, because when I first learned about you, I was actually in Finisterre, and I was telling you the other day that
Yes.
a taxi driver, when he found out that I was a pilgrim, he immediately started telling me your story. So I think that are very excited about what you're doing. And from what I was reading, I think on your website or maybe on Instagram, so I mean, to take this year journey would cost a lot of money if you were spending the night every night, eating out constantly. So I think that that a lot of people are being very generous and offering you places to stay. Is that correct?
That is correct, and that's been amazing. Like I can't understand this kind of generosity. Like people are well, right now I'm staying at a lady's house, and people are just offering me their houses so that I can stay with them, and offering me food to buy me a lunch in a restaurant, or to give me just like apples, sandwiches, things like that. So nuts, and I don't know, I'm just so impressed by people's generosity.
Wow. Okay. And so how many kilometers, like, do you have like a daily goal, or do you have this whole thing mapped out? You must, because you are planning on.
I do.
Okay. So what's a typical day, mileage wise? Like how far do you plan on walking each day?
Because I'm not in a very good shape and I've never done this before, I've been quite humble at the beginning. So my routes are between 15 and 23, 24 kilometers per day. So it's something that would take me between 4 and 6 hours, 6 hours and a half. So it's quite reachable. Like I've never been too sporty. I'm not in a great shape. So if anyone's considering on doing Camino, you don't need to be in a really good shape. But I'm like right now I'm learning, and I feel that my body's changing. So maybe in the future I'll do longer routes. But right now it's between 15 and 25 kilometers per day. And I have them planned before, so that when I stop in a village that has something. Because, well, you know, Leigh, that here villages are like that. Suddenly they're like tiny villages with 5 houses. So I need to stop in a place that has something, so that an albergue. How do you say albergue in English? Sorry, I don't know the word. Albergue.
Albergue. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that there's some infrastructure. So I have that plan so that my routes stop in places with
Okay, that makes total sense. And actually, I think 15 to 24 is still, that's a long day. I mean, I think
it is.
That's no walk in the park. That's
yeah, but once you start, then it gets easier and easier and easier. But you have to take really good care of your body. Like listen to your body. We were talking about this before. Listen to your body. I'm doing 1 day of rest per week, and that day is just like essential. It helps me like get some rest in my body, in my brain as well. So listening to your body, if you're too tired, if your feet are soaring, if whatever, just like stop, take care of yourself. Don't push yourself, because I saw 2 guys the other day that were doing like 40 kilometers per day because they wanted to get to Santiago in a certain date. And that's a different way of doing Camino, but I feel that you're not listening to your body, you're not connecting with yourself, and I wouldn't recommend that kind of Camino.
No, I totally agree. And you and I were talking earlier about the importance of taking care of the body, trying to do some yoga, which I was thrilled to hear that you've been doing that. Walking a year, self-care is critical for your success and to feel good during it. I mean, you want the journey to be positive for your body as well. I'm glad to hear that you're doing that. 40 kilometers, that's aggressive. I wonder, when I was walking this last time, and there were a couple of people that I would come upon that were walking the opposite direction, and I felt like, there was always kind of this joke, like, do you know you're going the wrong way? Like, what are you doing?
Everyone tells me that, like, it's not that way, it's this way. And I'm like, no, I'm going the other way.
Does it kind of just get on your nerves? Because I felt sorry. I met this one girl who's walking backwards, and she was already almost to Leon, and she was like getting sick of people making this joke because
no. I still find it funny.
Good. Now, I've heard that the Norte, I've never walked the Norte, but I've heard it's quite challenging. So where are you today? So you've been walking for 2 weeks. So what area have you made it to?
I'm arriving today to the coast. So I'm arriving today to a village called Ribadeo, which is actually like the last town in Galicia. Now I'm going to another region that's called Asturias. So now today I'm changing region, and today I'm arriving to the coast. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the sea, to be accompanied by the sea, the sound of the sea. So that's that. I'm going to change landscape from today onwards.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
And until now, it hasn't been very challenging according to like how steep routes are. But I've heard that from tomorrow onwards, it's going to be a bit harder because of it's I don't know, it's a bit more steeper. I don't know if you say that way, but I've heard it gets harder. But I mean, little by little, pasito a pasito, like they say here, like step by step and little by little, and then I'll get there.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great attitude to have. And I've heard the same thing about the Nortes. It can get quite steep, especially when you get to the coastal areas, but everyone says it's gorgeous. So that must be kind of exciting to have left from Finisterre, where you've got the beautiful sea right there, and it's such a gorgeous spot. And now knowing that you're getting back to the water, and that whole region of Galicia is so beautiful, so green. And
it is.
Yeah, so I'd be really excited to talk to you and connect with you as you continue up the coast, because that's going to be very, very exciting.
Sure.
I wonder, as you were mapping this out, did you pick this route? I mean, I know you had to get to Jerusalem, but weather-wise, will this help you to not be hitting any winter weather by the route?
That's the main reason, because the French way, it's a beautiful one, and I was really looking forward to doing it. But because I'm starting in January, there was a risk of snow in the French way, so that's why I decided to take the North way, because the influence of the sea, it makes it that like the temperatures are easier to follow. So that's why I chose the North way, also because of the sea, but mostly because of avoiding winter storms and snow and everything.
Yeah, because by the time you get to more the mountainous area, it will be
end of February. But I'm crossing to France by the coast. So I'm not crossing the mountains. I'm crossing on the coast. So that's going to make it easier. I don't have to go through mountains and everything. And because I'm doing quite tiny routes every day, it's taking a long time. And also I'm resting at least 1 day per week. So basically January and February I'll be doing Spain, and then March and April it would be France.
Okay. All right, great. I wanted to, when I was preparing to talk to you, I was looking at your webpage, and your blog, this one blog really stuck out to me. So I want to read a little bit from it, if that's okay, and then have you expand upon what you were thinking and now how you're kind of feeling about this now that you're 2 weeks in. So I'll include the link to her website and her Instagram, so you'll be able to follow along. Okay, so you say in this, and I'm near the end of this blog post, but you say, by taking the step of pausing my work life to start this adventure, I have begun to realize that many of us are either lost or in positions that do not really fit our personality. To find our way, my proposal is to know ourselves because, although hard and rugged, with time and inner sincerity, it can offer us something surprising. Second, I think we need to get rid of the idea that there is an ideal path. The successful paths of other people do not have to lead us to happiness and self-realization. Be careful with this. And the third step for me, the easiest if you have managed to cross the first two, is take the step. I wait for you on the other side. I assure you it is worth it.
It sounds so much better in your voice than in mine.
I don't know. I think your words are beautiful. And again, I'm just reading the very end of it. So I wondered if you could just kind of take us back when you were writing that and then come to now and how you're feeling about this. So could you share with everyone what made you write this blog post and how it's a part of this journey for you?
So when I wrote this post, I was transitioning between being an HR professional and being a pilgrim. So that was like the matching point between these two Carlotas. And right now I see it even clearer. So the concepts that I exposed are now even clearer for me. So what I saw when I was an HR professional was that there were many people that were unhappy with their professional lives because, first of all, they didn't get to know themselves. So they didn't really know what they were good at, what they enjoyed, what they wanted to do. Therefore, second step, they were in positions that didn't match their personality and their goals in life or their preferences. And this happens because many people think there are good positions and or first class positions and second class positions, it makes no sense. And the third thing is that they didn't find the courage to take a step to make a change in their lives. And these three steps was something that I was seeing every day in my professional life, that people were unhappy or were being frustrated because they were working in things that didn't match their personality. And right now I'm also seeing in the other way that people are living lives that they don't want to. They're doing things that they don't want to, that are not making them happy because, first of all, they haven't had the time, or they haven't done the exercise of getting to know themselves well. Like, who am I? What am I good at? What do I enjoy? And then on the basis of that, choosing a path. And we think, I don't know, like working in finance is the great path because you earn a lot of money. And then people go to, I don't know, because I did this, I was working in a bank, and what made me work in a bank was this, that I thought it was the right path. And then you're not enjoying your life. And then the third step is just like, take the courage and say, I'm starting, a new life. I'm changing my lifestyle or my work or my whatever. And that's something that I truly recommend. And now I feel even more concerned about this and sure that this is something that it's really happening.
I love this. Now, are you journaling during this? Are you capturing what's going on with this journey?
I am writing a journal for myself. So that's like where I have everything recorded. Like, I don't want to forget about this. I don't want to forget about this person that was super generous to me, or someone that I met, or a feeling that I got in a day. And then I'm also posting things on Instagram.
Good.
But I have to say that I'm not taking great care of my social networks because I don't have the time. Like, my mind is not really on that. But I'm making every week I'm making a video of what I see while I'm walking and the things that I pray or say while I'm working, so that people can have the feeling of being a pilgrim. And I'm also posting some pictures, some ideas that I have. But I have to say, I'm not being super active on social media because I also think that doesn't really match the fact of being a pilgrim. But I'm trying to keep my Instagram quite updated. Yes.
Well, I think you're doing a great job, because as a fellow pilgrim, this last time I walked, I thought, I'll post a couple of times a day. And my energy just wasn't in that way, right? Like, it was like some things I felt were very private. And I sometimes was just too tired, like I
absolutely.
Yeah, like social media just wasn't the top of my mind. But I have to tell you, with the number of authors that I interview, I hope you plan on writing a book, because I think this is fascinating. And I think the fact that you're coming from this HR perspective, I think this article alone is the basis for a really great study of life and pilgrimage. And so I hope that you're at least keeping good notes, because I can see
I'm trying.
And I think I want to read this book. I want to follow your journey, and I want to read it. So anyway, I know that it's getting close to the time that you need to start walking today. So we're going to close. But I want to promise everyone that Carlota is super generous in saying that we're going to come back and do some more interviews as she's walking. So this is just our first of a series as we follow her all the way from the end of the world to Jerusalem, which I'm so impressed by what you're doing. I think this is so brave and so exciting. And to just be a little bit of your journey is just a true honor and pleasure. So thank you for talking today. Please stay safe. Please stay in contact, and we'll talk again soon. All right. Okay, so I'm going to end the interview. Please stay on so you and I can say goodbye. Thank you, everyone, for checking in today. And like I said, I'll have everything in the show notes, so you'll be able to follow her journey day to day, and then check back in as we do our next catch up and interview.
Take care. Bye-bye.
I am free as a bird now, with my feathered wings. I am free as a bird now, with my feathered